obviously today, and then we look at this
market opens
zone if we get up there.
in 20 minutes.
The one I'm looking for. Well, we're going to talk about pounds here in a second. The one I'm looking for is AMD, and then maybe some pounds here.
Trader TV Live. There's a live TraderLive.tv.
And then into 246. There's been a bit of a wall. Like it'll slow down every time it gets there on Apple last week. It just indicates to me that somebody's been a bit of a seller at that price.
I should have put Apple on the sticky note here, yeah, because that's an easy base sell as well. 245.50. Good note right there. Anything up in here, that's a sell for Apple. The fact that the market's up and this thing's down, that's not a great sign. It can get going, but it's going to need a catalyst probably to pop through there. So yeah, the 50-period moving average here at 245. I'm a seller of Apple. I mean, a long-term hold or long-term bull. I'm pretty much the only stock I'm going to trim a little bit if we do get going one more time. Probably would be Palantir again. But yeah, I'm not selling any more stock. So Apple, nice upside move there. Huge couple days. Let's wait to see if it can come back into this 230 area. That's a decent buy zone again for Apple. So I would say somewhere in and around there, probably. But yeah, downside move. Lack of catalyst, man. I mean, they released that new phone, the 16E. We'll see how that sells. I think that's going to sell a lot because of Apple AI. But they got to start announcing some AI innovations. So hopefully that will start to come through for them. But yeah, Apple. Look, I mean, it's down, right? There's the 50 period right here. There's a 200. So we're shorting underneath these guys. So right there, Apple for me is a short at 9, 11, and 19 minutes to come. Market sells. It still has it's open. Like came back in, bouncing off VWAP right now. So it's a nice little hold. I was going to say we have 20 minutes till the market goes. We have 10 or so minutes until these imbalances come out. So we'll have to wait to see what happens with Apple. But for me right now, yeah, there's just bigger fish to fry. I'm just going to go short Apple if we get an opportunity to in and around that 245.50. So there's a short idea that we have on our mind.
Coming back in here a little bit for Tesla, 1.8% still on the positive side of things. Got back above that pivot from Friday.
Tesla on the
big
move up.
Negative move if you missed it this morning. It is officially the era of full self-driving for Tesla. It will begin in China. They're rolling out via software update.
What are you trading?
Batches to vehicles in.
I believe in NIO. I think NIO's coming up.
I want to know more about this because we're waiting for confirmation from the Chinese government that they were going to be allowed to drop their full self-driving because they haven't yet, and that was for regulatory reasons. So I still haven't read anything about approval from the regulator there for Tesla, for FSD, so we'll keep tabs on that. But there's more headlines today for Tesla. They're refreshing their Model S and their Model X in 2025. That's a typo there. It should be 2025. They haven't refreshed it since basically 2021. So this will be very important for their two most expensive models, the S and the X, obviously. Separately, they're also hiring now for CyberCab production. So they've posted multiple job listings for maintenance technicians, tools and die specialists, process engineers. All these roles are going to be in Austin. So we'll keep tabs on that. Just in case you guys are wondering, FS or their CyberCab, Brendo, their whole launch there is not going to be the actual CyberCab itself that we saw in October. It's going to be the Model 3 and Model Y, and then we'll get to CyberCab.
And that note comes after, I think it was last week we were talking about or 2 weeks ago, we were talking about the robots. He plans on making 10,000 robots a year coming up as well. So they're
It's TraderTV.live. I had it right the first time.
What a reversal if we can hold here, guys, so far for Tesla.
Yeah, wait till they're shoveling our driveways and just talking about these ridiculous icicles that I have coming off the roof. Probably should knock those over. I saw multiple neighbors that were getting the snow off of their roof on the week yesterday as well. So you get the robot doing that. I think there's just so many applications. Look, FSD in China, that's a good catalyst. I think the bigger it's not a catalyst, but I think the bigger thing possibly for Tesla is just how much it's sold off recently. Like you pull back from the highs to that low, it was like a 30-something% pullback. Then you throw in what we had on Friday. Like you have a sizable gap to still maybe continue to go along with here on Tesla. So there's a lot to look at. Jokingly, you can forget about the 334 at the time when I sat down. It seemed like a little bit of a thing. But now I'm going to be looking at some of the afternoon highs. We faded off at 342 on Tesla. I just want to be continuation for Tesla, so I think this gives us a bit of a level, and then VWAP down here at 339, because you could stick a fork in something like 334. That would have been the first place I looked when it started going, which is the prior low and where it was breaking out from, but that'll look a little bit higher here on Tesla, and being willing to join the move, as opposed to get that, like, bottom barrel, hey, I got the low price, because I feel like if you get that today, you don't want it. So we'll look VWAP, we'll look 42s for longs here on Tesla. And ooh, looks like we have ourselves a poll. Nike, is it dead? If you want to vote on this poll, here I'm going to say no. Because, well, I mean, at least not today, so I'm looking for a long on it today. But if you want to vote on the poll, you have to be a subscriber because it's in the chat and it's a subs only chat. So hit that subscribe, jump in, let us know if you think that Nike's dead. I'm pretty sure Tesla's not dead today, and I like them both for long.
Well, get this right here, 650. So, all right, 7,300 of you watching. So right there, 650. Go down, hit the like button. We'll check this in a couple minutes. Let's see if we can get this. Let's see if we can double, right? 1,300. I feel like 1,300. Wait a minute, 600 times 2. 1,500. Double that, upside, see if we can get that going. So please hit the like, the subscribe. Over 7,000 of you. Absolutely free information here off the watch list. So make sure you go and check that out. I don't have Tesla written down on the sticky note today, but I do like it. It's obviously had that pretty epic move there on that release of the full self-drive news coming through for China. 50 period moving average is normally what we play back to, but obviously off the open for a name like Tesla that has dramatic moves off the open, that's for sure. I don't really want to play that right now. I feel like that's probably overdone a little bit. Not that the news, I think the news is huge, and I think it's the next step. I just wonder about that kind of a bump. I could see it fade back, and if it does, I'm sitting here at the 200 period moving average. So 337 or so for Tesla right now. I feel like that's a good area to start to, dip by some love here for TSLA. So if we can get something into that area, I think that's reasonable. I mean, just look, if you want to get more aggressive than that, then you're probably coming into a level right now, 342. There it was, we couldn't get through that whoosh. I wasn't obviously here on Friday, we didn't need to be. This is all Friday. Here's the 50 period. It just never bothered it. And then obviously to today, this morning, we crossed through. So if you play that cross right there, that's 336 to 337. So that's kind of where I'm thinking for potential dip buy into the space there for TSLA. So yeah, I'm a buyer down there in and around 344, 345. Does anybody like some fruit salad? Because we did have a new caterer right now, and pretty good, man. Green and red grapes.
Yeah.
I'm more of a green grape guy.
I like the green, but
Yeah. I like the green.
I like the variety. Actually, I'll take the variety of the fruit salad, but yeah.
I like the variety as well.
We're green on our fans.
970 you have now hit the like button. So let's get going a little bit more on that one. We'll take a 50% bump, but we're looking for 100. So only 13 minutes left now until we go. Is Nike dead? Of course not. All right. I just got that deal with Skims, right? So, all right. Well, Skims got the deal with Nike, I should say. The other way around. Yeah, Seedless, of course. Number
Oh, that's a
one.
no-brainer.
Yeah. And if you mash certain grapes with your feet, you get a magical juice that appears.
The elixir of the gods.
Exactly.
Out here. Maybe. We'll see.
All right, brought to you by our friends over at Foremost Energy. Unlock the nuclear renaissance with Foremost Clean Energy, leveraging one of the biggest megatrends on the planet currently, nuclear energy. Partnered with Denison Mines with properties strategically located throughout the Athabasca Basin, known as the Saudi Arabia of uranium. This undervalued company is poised to capitalize on exploding nuclear markets and offers unparalleled growth potential. The future is nuclear. Foremost is your energy, or is your entry on the NASDAQ under FMST, or here in Toronto on the CSE. FAT is the symbol. Check out Foremost Energy, foremostcleanenergy.com. Back to Thursday, I guess that is Thursday's low here right on the dot for Palantir right now. 4.25% as this sell-off continues. If you missed it, mid to end of last week, government comes out and says they're going to cut the defense spending budget. That kicked off the selling. We had some insider selling, meanwhile, for Palantir executives. Not much of a bounce yet.
Not yet. We'll have to wait and see if the bulls step back in. Yeah, so as you mentioned, Brendo, sold off aggressively last week. 4.6% on Friday, another 19% up previous to that over the last few trading days, but it's still up 300% year to date. So it's a good look there over the past year, I should say, not year to date. Some of the reasons, as Brendo mentioned, we were selling off aggressively. The defense stocks got sold off aggressively last week as the Trump administration vis-a-vis the new defense secretary Pete Hegseth looking to cut about 8% of the Pentagon spending per year to the tune of about $500 billion or so. Widely speculated that may influence Palantir. There are other opinions on that, of course. Then CEO Alex Karp came out and said he's going to sell about $1.2 billion worth of shares, which is also weighing on investor sentiment, Brendo. But Daniel Ives, as he typically does, is going to come in, take the bull case here. He sees it as an entire overreaction. He believes that the company's valuation of 180 times forward earnings is absolutely justified.
$100. Definitely a thing there for PLTR, but what a chart. Still, what a chart. John.
Thanks, Brenda. Yeah, no, I think that, look, it's obviously what goes up must come down at some point. But down like an elevator, though, is the thing here with Palantir. It kind of took a little bit of stairs up there, but there did have some elevator moves both ways. And so, yeah, there's the Alex Karp news, there's it coming down, and it couldn't catch it all last week. Couldn't really find bids, right? I mean, I was here about one day last week, and I tried to get the long in and around 104, 105, and then that was the day that this happened, when it whooshed down to 101.50 or something, right off the open, and then made its way back up, and then continued again. So I wrote down here, it is going to be on the sticky note for a long, but that's just because I just want to try it, and then not be married to it. So down here at 95, it has big moves off the open, unless something's changed. That's generally what can happen with Palantir. Again, pretty chalky there, but when you look at this is still $2, then there's the move down again, right? So that's actually not even that bad on Friday. Thursday, huge move down again, straight off the open, right? So we can find out some weakness here right away. In a couple minutes, you're gonna get that imbalance. I just want to sit there and try this long down at 95. If it wants to hold it, then great. If not, then we're gonna bounce out. So I like the trade. The low's only been 96 and change. I'm going to give it to a 95 handle. And I wrote down on here, let's not be stubborn. If it breaks it, then we're just going to get out. I'm not.
Let's compare a HELOC to an alternative that comes with no monthly payments. A HELOC is a line of credit from your home's equity and typically requires an
I'm not going to sit here and talk about PE. It's overbought, it's oversold, it's over this, it's over.
Shoot. The heck. My batteries are almost dead, so I gotta pop them out every time. I don't have a ride to go to the store. I ain't going to deliver just batteries. Come on, baby.
Sold, it's over this, it's over that. CrowdStrike, Tesla, Amazon, so many names. Like, we're buying Bitcoin with,
5 minutes till open.
GOB.
You guys want to talk about this? You guys want to talk about, making calls on things? 4 weeks ago, I had said right there on the market recap show, it's time to buy gold, and for the first time ever, we bought some gold. So, I mean, this has been something that we've been really proud about, right here over the last little while of what gold's been doing. Now, we're not long down here, we're long somewhere here once we start to break through. We had bought some in and around here, and there it goes to the upside. I just used GLD, I didn't buy physical gold or anything like that, but this is working in the portfolio. Obviously, I'm not loaded into gold, I've never been a gold bug, but I had said on the recap show, and those of you that were watching that, I'm actually making calls and taking trades. So that was one there that I was really happy with. Now we have the 50 period there. It's not a huge part of the portfolio. It's not even 1%. Like I was just buying it to see, and I wish I had bought it for reals. But right now, gold, nice little move to the upside. I'll probably just hold it, but at the end of the day, that's really moving as well. So you can get some hedge, right? I mean, we had sold some Palantir at 114, thought that was a good time to do that, and we did buy Tesla. It was around 328 to 330. So that's been working out, that exchange. But yeah, Palantir, pretty tough week, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was rough for Palantir. There was the long on Thursday. There's no question about that. But then Friday was just a matter of, you had a couple of shots at some shorts on Friday in Palantir. I would have thought continuation could have taken us maybe through like, obviously it broke the 100 level pretty early. But even if you get a bounce off of that low, I'd probably looking back at the 100 to 101 is a bit of a fade. I feel like if we get up there, I'll probably be in short of AMD, and ideally that is popped as well. But back into 100, want to look for some shorts. When you look at that daily chart, however, it's just to keep a mind out there. The 50 period now also sits at a pretty large level, down around 85, 86. That looks like it's going to be a very good spot for a bounce play on Palantir. If it ends up in the 90s and it holds the 90s, I think the next stop is bouncing off of that 86. That's not something for today. For today, I want to look at that fade 100 to 101. But in the next coming days and weeks, I think that's a buy on Palantir 86 if you can get a print down there this week.
Was strong. I mean, still up on the morning, 1.3% here, back to 52.50 coming into play here this morning. Nice pop though on this SEC note. If you missed it.
Yeah, it's nice to get that headwind out of the way, Brendo. Obviously, the old SEC had filed a Wells notice, and they were going after Robinhood for illegally selling securities, specifically these meme coins. So they've ended that investigation with no enforcement action against them. Robinhood did receive a letter, I believe, on Friday confirming the closure of the investigation. Coinbase got one, as we recall, a few days earlier above that. Before, just to give you an idea over here, the SEC back in May 2024 warned Robinhood that it might face charges for potential securities law violation within specifically its crypto unit. The closure of the SEC investigation is widely viewed, as a broader regulatory shift in the crypto industry after the new administration took place. Gary Gensler, who was the previous SEC chair, had been widely criticized with this regulation by enforcement tactic, basically not answering any of their questions, kind of duping them in, getting them to make statements, and then seemingly filing actions after that, widely criticized for doing that.
And it's amazing how fast all of those have just been pushed aside. 1.75, still not bad start here, guys, for Robinhood.
Kind of expect a little bit more, but after what we saw with Coinbase in a similar spot, it just didn't really follow through for when Coinbase had similar news here. Bitcoin's not really doing much of anything, and yeah, it doesn't feel nearly as strong as I thought. I think Tesla looking a little bit more interesting, and Nvidia today, but I think you work off the lows here. 51 bottom on Friday, 51 big level on the daily as well. We had some support to resistance. If we lose 51 bucks, yeah. We just talked about it on Palantir's 50 period being a prior support level or big level. I think Robinhood's the same thing at 47. So if we lose 51, I don't think you fight this thing. It's a little bit of a gap in here to 47. I can't imagine, it'd be weird that we lose a bid like this on positive news to lose that low, but if it were to happen, I think you're looking longs this week at 47 here on Robinhood. There's a couple of things to talk about, a few things. We still have a couple minutes in here to go. I just wanted to quickly mention SMCI. So SMCI, if you saw on Friday, it was the same thing as Thursday, and up, if it gets to 60, someone's selling it at 62. On any strength, I think that's a fade, but it's starting to break down and do a bit of a flat bottom break here on SMCI. So First look would be fading the 50 in front of 56, looking for a gap fill. If it breaks out, respect the seller at 62. They've been there pretty much the back half of the week. Looks like we're not going to get there now. The stock falls.
All right, we're talking about Robinhood, and look, I like it. Let's look similar to Palantir. To me, what an awful week, almost exact same week that Palantir had, where it got going early and just couldn't catch another bid, right? So Robinhood right there, looking to fall back in. I think it's worth the buy. Like, honestly, if you can get into the 50-period moving average, I feel this week is so important. We have big time earnings coming through, and then we have PCE at the end of the week. I'm excited to see what happens there for that one. Palantir's come way in, so we'll have to see if there is any balance there as well. Tesla went down $5. Yeah, so we're waiting to buy some Tesla down here in and around 337. So we'll wait to see if that comes through. Tesla with the sell side right now. Yeah, the whole market's coming in. Remember what I was saying? It was like, I don't want to start calling these longs because we're dealing with VWAP, and then all of a sudden, now we've dealt with it the wrong way. It's come back in a little bit here on those early sells. So Walmart also with the sell. People were liking the 95 level, so I'm sure even the gentleman to my right there, maybe he's buying some up. We talked about Walmart before, and I'm not in the name, and I was thinking about this would be also a decent level for Walmart, catching that there from their report last week. So some nice moves, and then a name that I put in the swing account, but I didn't even check. We bought it on Thursday when we were here. I know we
340 Tesla till next week. I got it, and we're going up. And we're coming up, baby. We going to the moon.
As we get going as well.
Woo!
9:29 and 30.
Holy day!
We will get that opening bell. So there's a nice move down there for Tesla. My guy Alex, are you selling early or what? What's going on here? Nice move to the downside with TLTR. I'm going to be buying 95 flats basically, and then breaking through that, we're gone. So if that off the open, especially if it was through 95, we can touch the bottom wick, and if
to the fucking Mars.
like,
it's started. Yes, yes.
Off the open on Palantir, but I do like that dip buy opportunity. All right, here we go, man. Thank you to Foremost Clean Energy to sponsor this opening bell. It's a little early, don't ring it yet. No, it's not ready yet. 3, 2, 1, we are now open. There we go.
I am so confused.
My clock was off there.
We've been open.
Palantir with a nice early move to the downside right now for PLTR. We just got long at 95.15, guys.
Wow, and a little bit of a bid there on Tesla as it broke through VWAP. It might get that 334 after on Tesla.
No, we're
also 79 break on Nike imminent here on NKE.
$4 in the money. We are right now ripping. This is a huge day. All right, this is a huge day. Holy crap! I'm so glad we're back. What a day. Tesla right there, $2 in the money. We told you. We put it right there in the chat.
Why you cancel?
Nice move to the downside for Tesla. $4 still going. You guys put in the chat. Where is the level for Tesla? I said 337.
Where you at, Tess?
337.50 right now, Neil. Double the day. Double the day's expectation right now. Early to go. Neil. So I'm going to pass it
on. Down.
We're well exposed here to this market. So far, so good.
So,
why am I behind on this? Play.
Right, filled at 339. So you're getting a consolidation level. That's a prior close. If we lose the bottom, we're jumping out.
Where are we at here?
Make sure we have our stop out underneath. Nvidia is, I don't know, I just heard Sean say Nvidia.
CGC.
Nvidia, there wasn't any dip to grab. You're not going to be able to get 134 or at 135 at this point, but it is holding on to prior high. Like to see it hold that prior high and then start working off of VWAP for Nvidia. So if you're not going to get that crazy dip at the open, then we got to be patient to try to join that long. AMD, well, you're not going to get a pop right now to short. AMD already red and down a couple of dollars. So not going to chase AMD down here. Just going to have to work with the longs because the stock I like short is gone to the downside.
All right. I mean, so like we had said that Palantir was worth a shot, right? At $95. So right now we've hit our goals. It's 4 minutes in. So I've changed sort of the structure of what I'm trying to do here, and that is I'm trying to talk about trading, winning trades, bigger positions. And I mean this is. After taking a week, coming back in here right now, sitting down, and now we're $6 in the money on 2 trades over there, Sharif. Okay. So this is what trading is all about: hitting your goals, hitting these winning trades. And then just making sense of trades, because as we hear Neil talk about this as well all the time, you know, if you can't replicate something, then it's not worth it, right? Which is why I'm trying every single day to put out that sticky note and show you guys, like, these are the trades I'm looking at and why we're looking at them. So, just here for Tesla again, does this one have a chance to go? Yes, I mean, our best outs right here are 341 and change. Now that I look at the upside, you always have to look at downside too, which is why we're starting to get out, right? So even though you make your goals for the day, you could lose them. So right now in Palantir, for example, I have 8% left of this trade. Why? Because we have the damn bottom of the day. We have 95.08s right now, or 95.15s on Palantir. It's up to 99, so it took out 50, took out VWAP, took out 200. So like, we're cruising right now here today. So far so good. Big time action happening, and it's these two trades that are really carrying the day here. So so far so good on these plays. Let's see if we can continue higher. I think I'm going to hold Palantir, especially now if we can. I mean, I'm going to get out another piece right now. Let's just get out something here at 99s. Money. Yeah, it's a $4 banger right here. So right here is 4% in the money right now on this one trade that was one of our best ideas of the day. So far so good. $6 in the money. All indices are red, but not the account. Nasdaq's not red, nor is ES. So we saw some of the chat say that. But yeah.
Nasdaq it just broke the low though.
Yeah, it just broke the low, which is unbelievable. Our net is climbing right now. So far so good there. As net breaks lows, we go short.
Let's
We
fucking
go
do
long right
this.
now. Maybe it is time to look for some
Yeah.
shorts. We did like
I
Apple.
don't have any short ideas that are rating levels I like, but Apple did break out, so Apple, glad I wasn't short. Let's go over to Jared. That's
Just be aware you're an FUBO.
Sean read my mind.
Sure, you're pushing to the upside. Fubo, there were some antitrust related issues being flagged by some senators last week with regards to his deal with
Tess,
Disney.
where you going?
But the real reason to keep an eye on FUBO this week is they report earnings on Friday. So Friday before the open, we will hear earnings from Fubo for the first time since their Disney deal was struck. It's also worth noting FUBO does have an 11% short float.
Thank you, baby.
Thank you very much there, Dara. So 80 over under on Nike. It failed to break out at that $80 level, so we jump out. Gonna look for VWAP to retrace back in on an early look there for Nike. Still like the long. It's a continuation long as far as I'm concerned. You got it on the daily chart there, breaking out, but there's your resistance on the 200 period. And the reason we say this all the time, if you're gonna use the moving average, then make sure the stock respects the moving average. Nike respects the 200 period moving average on the daily. It's been rejecting it for the entirety of the year. So you just want to respect that. If it breaks it out, I don't mind taking that long. But let's get the dip buy here. Nike off of VWAP. Just want to see it make a bit of a curl. Tesla is still kind of chilling. The market's not that strong. You're actually right down into overnight lows here on the ES, and NASDAQ doing about the same thing. So if we bounce off this, great. I think that anything that's working for a long, you want to look for some ads. But I guess I'm thinking about where I want to get short AMD as it's pulling back into VWAP potentially.
Go, Tess, go!
Obviously a lot of things in the market week, but this is the one that we want
Tesla,
to short. So I just thought we'd get a pop, which has happened
Come on,
every
Tess.
single day. Last week there was a pop and fade on AMD, except for this one.
Give it a pop. Give it a pop.
Let's just keep on looking. So let's just
Give me 3, 4, 5.
NVIDIA 135.50 long way written down. So let's go and take a quick look. I know it's way up there now, so
Yes.
let's look at some more stocks right now. Okay, so we're into 5% left now of Palantir. All right, because we just got some out there at 97, and we also got some out right there at VWAP at 97.40. Well, so far so good. I'll try another reload down there, but it's gonna have to come right into me one more time. And if that happens, then we'll we won't take that many shares, but we'll reload it just a little bit. We'll
Oh,
probably
baby.
a quarter of what we have.
Oh, baby.
Go,
Tess, go!
Go,
Tess, go!
This is, you know,
Yeah,
again, I
oh.
feel like it's important.
Got it
because
going
if
on.
we just sit here and we just say like, oh, we're long this stock, but like, how much risk do we have in the stock? And I think that's something that's important for everybody. So when we reload certain names, I'm gonna tell you, like, this was a big position right there, big one. Obviously, we hit 2 times our daily goal on this one trade alone. So I'm only gonna put on a quarter of that back. We only now have 5% left. So we'll put on in total
Come on,
of
Tess.
30%
No,
again.
do
of
not
that
fucking
trade.
tank.
And then if it breaks down,
I'm
it breaks
closing.
down. If it goes, it goes.
Nah.
And we will be able to hold pretty much all of it. So that's something that you know, I'm really trying to pride myself on is to work on better sort of risk management and not just give everything back when it comes in and maybe, you know,
Hey,
slip
hey,
something
oh.
because that early move is really what I'm looking for. And we talked about that on Tesla and we talked about that on Palantir. I mean, so we're back in the building and I hope the excitement's back and I hope that we're ready to rock and roll. And all of you guys are too. So please, you know, hit the like, hit the subscribe.
Neo, what the
Over
fuck?
1.4K of you have done that. Over 11,000 watching. So thank you so much for all of that. We're back in the building, baby. We're kicking, and not only that, man, we're kicking the door open. We just gave you two of, I don't know if you'll find, for me, bigger bangers than those right now. I know Neil hit Tesla as well with me there. And then he had his own trade there with, well, we're all our own trades, but with Nike, the one that I hadn't looked at. So good job there over on that side. And then Apple right here. Let's just see what's going on with Apple. 248. So we knew this was going to be the fade play, but we also didn't think this was going to happen. We had said maybe in and around that 245.50 area would have been a decent short. Looks like that's what VWAP is. So maybe we can play off that right now. But I'm going to sit on the hands for a little bit here and try to look for some more opportunities. So there it is. Thank you so much, Sharat. My trades are the best. I hate it when you're not in the building. Likewise, my guy. Welcome back, boss man. Thank you so much for that.
Amen.
You know, we just. I'm glad to be here to give you guys the juice that you need, right? I mean, hopefully, you know, again, you guys can ask us, again, you know, what we're up, what we're down as far as percentages or things like that. Try to get creative. But at the end of the day, the trades need to be yours.
Oh, God.
I'm just glad
Tesla.
that Neil and I can sort of explain what we're doing and hopefully give you some ideas to trade yourself because everybody around here trades completely different share sizes, completely different rules, risks, and everything. So find your own zone and your own spot. And we just want to thank everybody for watching because at the end of the day, we're building community, right? I mean, and that's what it's all about. Many people watch football and have no idea how to play it, so you watch it for the rules. Hopefully, we'll be able to, you know, help guide you that way as well. So,
Amen.
yeah, let's keep it going with that. Shout out to Brett Favre.
Yeah, shout out to Brett Favre. That was I was glad you were able to make it for that one, man. Because it would have been.
It was
No,
good.
the week would have been. It would have been a weird one to have had a chance to talk to. Obviously, a Packer legend, and without Sean here at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I think Packer legend. Actually, no, we'll get him back. No,
Palantir's breaking
just a couple of things. Look, the market's breaking down off the lows. Prior support on Tesla just turned into resistance. Remember, we liked that 342 level, so we lost that 342, dipped by, just curl off that same level. A couple of rejections off of Tesla here at 342. Well, I like the dip by at prior close. But we'll go into that if it can make a little bit of a bounce here, but it's starting to look like why am I not short anything? And I don't have a good reason except for the fact I didn't get AMD. So Tesla worked. Nike didn't give us back into VWAP, but got to start looking for another opportunity short. Haven't been able to get VWAP on AMD yet. And SMCI was the other name that we're looking for a fade, and suddenly that's actually a little bit strong. Like it's trying to creep above VWAP. So I think I have to be patient with SMCI. Maybe
All right,
some
money
here
is
at
all
56.5.
invested.
It's that or AMD that I want to the south side.
Send.
Adara?
You better feel it.
Be wary of ATCH. This is a small cap runner. We were actually people that watched this morning. They did have earnings
ATCH.
this morning. Basically, they did actually have a
ATCH.
decrease in year-over-year basis for their earnings per share. But I guess well-received report here with noting the 9% short float. Also worth noting here, everyone. Thank you so much for being here, and make sure to like and subscribe if you're doing this content. Every single day, the markets are open. Back to the guys.
Supplies though on Rivian at like 13 and
Palantir! Who's your daddy?
Short. Today there was no chance at it. This is very much like AMD, well the market too. And it just sort of rugged it. You've now broken $12 and flat bottom break potentially on Rivian here. Look, maybe you get a pop of VWAP and you get some kind of a play back in there on that bad boy, but yeah, not looking very good for Rivian. Down 7% and still heading lower, unfortunately.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Rivian was the only short idea that we had
Moving up.
on the sticky notes, so we'll go bang, 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 bang for that one. But you got to take it first for that one as well. So, by the way, Palantir break. So we did get back about 15 or so percent on that play right there. But look at this. This is the wins, right? $4 to the maximum, and this is the loss, or 30 cents. So we got a
Patience
great
is
price there as it breaks below 95, and then actually I can tell you the price we got. Actually, we got 94.60s. So we were waiting for 94.75 to break, but it broke. It was immediate. The minute it broke 95, it just flushed. So obviously, a good trade to get out. I'm glad to do that. Palantir will be PL number one by far so far today. The Tesla trade that I'm holding, if I were to get out right now, it would overtake the Palantir trade. But I'm going to wait for Radiator 342 to come in right there as well. So my number one trade idea was NVIDIA long. We probably should have looked at that again on that VWAP dip buy into 137.
Go, Tess, go.
Big miss there for NVIDIA. We were waiting lower. We
Go,
were waiting at
Tess.
136 where the 200 period is, but missed opportunity there for NVIDIA. We're starting to
400
on
end of the
NVIDIA.
sweep.
It's probably worth that long. There goes Tesla, man. Neil, I don't know how many times it was hit last week. I hope a lot. But 1, 2, 3, 4 plus dollars right now. We were just 5, and we took it out there on Tesla at 342. So the money's coming back in right now, but
I can't take it out.
probably
I'm not in a margin account.
There to try to pick up that bottom, so we could definitely do some of that right now. But yeah, we'll go 2 for 2, just sitting here waiting. And I'm just glad that we had used a little bit of an upsized position there to make the money early, because right now it's trying to battle back. Just not so sure about what levels to trust here, as it's only 9:46. Actually, it gets a little later than I thought. Right.
We're 15 minutes in.
Yeah, we're okay. Yeah, so this is okay. NVIDIA having a problem here on 138.
Oh my
They do
God.
like the pullback into 137.
Coming up.
So I'm gonna try to dip by this into 137, maybe giving it to like this local bottom 136.50. I
14.
think that's worth it.
Yeah, I'm looking at, well, I'm gonna look at this AMD short, just try to get into something to the south side. We're starting to pull, maybe get back into a VWAP dip as well on Nike. So there's AMD just underneath VWAP, Nike, actually well above the 80 level, looking to buy about 79.5 where VWAP is gonna sit. That's on a 3-minute chart, and we started about 6 o'clock in the morning, our data. So a lot of times it's like, hey, you know, your VWAP is wrong. Well, if my VWAP's wrong, you probably have a different start time on your chart, which is fine. Tesla's starting to pull right back into that support level that we liked from before.
Yeah, I do.
So if we can grab that back in here to 3, off this low, 337.5 prior close, need to hold on to that, and we can try to go into a long opportunity. Oh, there's a couple of halts in here, and I know some people have asked about this. RETO, don't really know the company, but I can tell you they're halted at 110. This is the 4th halt of the morning so far, so just watch out, a bit of a halt fest on this Reto, whatever they happen to be. Hasn't been able to open for more than a couple of minutes. Obvious breakout level, if it can take about $1.25 on that. So looking at this Tesla,
For a while.
what the, oh wow.
Idiot.
Palantir could go, alright, Palantir could go SSR. Just, I didn't realize it was almost down 10%. Palantir goes down 10%, we're gonna look for an SSR bounce.
Yes.
And a mean reversion here on Palantir. That could come pretty quickly. That'll be about $91. If it gets down to 91, look for an SSR bounce on Palantir.
I mean, we're doing it again. We'll go 3 for 3 today. There goes NVIDIA. I mean, we just took it at 138. I'm like, traders got to trade. And I mean, there it goes again, right? So whatever. Let's see if it goes higher now. We're getting out of a little bit of this. Obviously, I don't want to play against the market too much. So we got out right there of 20% at 50s. There's another 10% right here at 40s. So it's not going to be a huge trade. It's just a topper. So we'll wait to see. Look at those outs. You know, like these are the things, man. I'm going to get out of this if it breaks 335 on Tesla. But I've already explained this a couple times. We have 5% left of Tesla right now. NVIDIA, again, like, I know Neil's looking for that short there on AMD.
NVIDIA, but-
No, on AMD there. So, that could definitely be a play. Okay, here comes NVIDIA coming in again. So remember where we're trying to bid, right? We're trying to bid a little bit lower on this thing, in and around 137. All right, we did get a little bit more shares here. There goes Tesla right into that bottom of the day again. Our offer is at breaking through 335. So this one's going to have to go about $1 and change against us right now. But here it is. It's a reloaded position for you on Tesla. Let's see if this one wants to work out for us. But again, market needs to go first. But right now the market's going the oppo to the downside right now. Big trade alert happening, I guess, on Tesla. We just take Neil, guess what?
Fuck.
Another $1.
Now I'm
Looks like
getting
we're
it.
bouncing on Tesla. I broke out under support level, so I'm not taking it. We're about
I'm
to
getting
get AMD at the quarter level. We just got in underneath prior day's low, so the first time we're breaking lows on the NASDAQ. The other thing that's starting to come in there is, remember, $91 would be approximately SSR on Palantir, not to the penny. It'll be like 91 quarter or something like that. Get another $1 to the downside, gonna start looking reversion on Palantir.
I ain't
Final
selling
short is
shit.
in AMD. There's the trend. It speaks for itself. Underneath prior low, gonna give it to about 150. Sorry, 110.50, I should say. We get to a low, break 110 again. Gonna start taking profit on that bad boy. SMCI not really looking like it's gonna be the setup for the short trade that we want, unfortunately. And Nike, we're trying to get back on the bid here, 79.5. That's also going to be VWAP up 5.5%. It's doing it just fine. With the market at lows, it's maintaining its strength very, very nicely here. And yeah, Palantir, I just feel like that's going to happen next. So, you know, we're going to be short.
This crazy
Palantir
market.
now cruising, just broke 93. Gonna look for that mean reversion trade on Palantir. We've seen this
Is it
before.
beautiful?
We get it when it breaks trend. If it doesn't get to 10%, okay, I probably don't like it as much, but I still want to take the first mean reversion we get here on Palantir.
Yeah,
God
so,
bless
coming back to you a little bit
America.
here. Yeah, let's, you know, maybe sit on our hands a little bit. So we have our positions. I don't have any more bids out. Right, I actually couldn't really shut my
I'm done with it.
anyways. We
Fuck
got some
this
bids
day.
lower on Nvidia, but those are much lower.
Holy shit.
In case those can come in, you know, through here. If we lose this 136.75 area, I'm gonna get out of 75% of this position for sure.
Tesla.
Okay, so some of these trades
Fuck.
have come back a little bit. So we got some out there on Tesla as it went back up through 337, but then there's the break again. So look at this market to come down. The fact that we've had 2 longs and they've been working has been incredible, or 3 longs. So we're kind of just waiting to see now if this market will hold. If we're going to look at a broader market, we had that huge sell-off, right? It kind of came right into a little bit of support, but if you go to the downside here, the Qs really have this 522. So you could be down another 2 or 3 points here on the Qs before we even think about bouncing at this point. So give it a second. It didn't hold the day's bottom. It's not really holding anything right now as the market be getting a little bit weaker. So, all right, Nvidia. Okay, well, here it comes back in. So we talked about the 200 period or so, and that we would sit on and not just like exit out of everything completely. But right now it does look like, you know, downside move into 136. We have written down here on Nvidia 135.50. So we're getting close to that area where we're thinking about dip buying much serious position. But again, I don't know, the market's just barely red. Like, we could really get to a tanking spot here. 135.50. Let's wait and see if we can be patient for Nvidia. But then great short there, I hope for you out there on AMD. So
Holy
yeah,
shit.
and then Palantir, you mentioned 99.
Everything.
Yeah,
Tank.
there it goes.
Any second now.
So the sell programs are here. Look at this. 4 or 5 trades on the downside there, Neil.
Yeah,
Whoa.
this could be that spot. Like, Palantir is now 9.7. It hasn't ticked past SSR just yet, but clearly it's falling like a rock here. The Nasdaq's not down that much. It's just more the fact that we look like we're in a recovery phase. Monday morning, early sell-offs, I find to give some of the best bounce backs, specifically on Mondays. Sometimes it's like at 9:30 in the morning. This is a little bit later on in the session. So there hasn't been any kind of a green or up candle here in Palantir. It just ticked it. If we close this bar above the trend line, I'm taking a long. I'll quickly show you guys.
Oh my
AMD.
God. I'm about to make a move.
All right, anyways, just ignore
I'm
people.
about to
Just
cash
listen
the
to me on
fuck
that.
out.
So AMD broke 110. We got some out in front of
No,
119.
I'm not gonna do it.
I'll have to close and restart that chart again. But Palantir.
Don't put all your eggs in one
Now, this
basket.
closes this prior bar, breaking the trend. I'm
Patience
punching long.
is key.
The stop is at the prior low. Like, there's no holding on to it past the bottom, but it's got to hold above the trend line, which hasn't even happened yet.
I
That will still take care of some
can do it.
business. The market's taking care of some to the downside.
Sure is. Each year, over 3.8 million concussions are reported in the U.S., yet there is still no FDA-approved treatment. NYSE listed Oragenics, O-G-E-N, is changing that with its first in-class intranasal drug
Tesla,
designed for
suck
rapid
my
brain
nuts.
access. With the concussion treatment market projected to reach, wow, $8.9 billion by 2027, Orogenics is uniquely positioned to lead the way. Learn more and schedule a meeting.
I buy one
Scan
Tesla.
that QR code right there on your screen to learn more about Orogenics and the concussion protocols. But again,
buy
we wanted to
Tesla.
get right on last week, talk all about that, and we've seen sort of the effects that some of this new medicine can have, and hopefully in the right ways. And,
Oh la la.
It was a nasty.
Oh my God.
as we look for some.
Oh my God.
Some young Dodgers pitcher took a 106 liner off the head, and they don't wear helmets. You're not wearing a helmet on.
No, I know. Baseball is actually more dangerous than hockey.
There was a guy I played with in my men's league.
Yeah.
A really good dude. He took one off. He took one off the dome, and he had
Yeah.
very, very.
Yeah.
It's like light.
AAL.
That's the big worry.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
bats after that.
I'm closing y'all.
Crazy.
Grown men
Close.
should not be hitting with aluminum bats. It was never
Review.
safe to begin with, but
Send.
thankfully it's fine. But,
Mm-hmm.
so a bit of a
Close.
it's weird because
Close,
Pepper
buddy.
playing here. I just
Close.
missed it.
Close them all.
It's still heading into the downside, pretty precipitously, but it's closing above, and it just held 91.50. So I have my stop underneath 91.5, looking for the long. Randy Rivian, what in the blue blazes?
This is perfect for you guys.
Well, who are you guys?
I thought you wanted to buy dips as well.
10? It's at 12 right now. No, I'm kidding. $10 is the only level to buy it. But I curled. By the way, you weren't here. I said if it loses 12, I'm selling the rest of it. So I know I've been trailed out of this. Yeah, probably it should be. Oh, whatever. I'll check it once. I should be trailed out of this, and if it gets back to 10, I'll pick it back up at 10. But the biggest mistake was the first time not selling when it got into the teens. Next time I did sell some in the teens, and I sold the rest of it.
All right,
If it gets to
Tesla.
10, I'd buy it back again. But
Let's
that's not
fucking
really
play.
For Rivian. Wait for 10 though.
Yeah, so NVIDIA goes right down to the exact bottom, pretty much that we wrote down, 135.50, went to 135.43 there, or so was the bottom right there for NVIDIA. But that might not, I didn't get any out, it went right back up to 136. That's my average price. So I'm willing to take this $1 the other, like if we lose $1 on this, I'm pretty comfortable doing that. I mean, and we'll work on it at that point. But here it is right now at a level that I like. So we bought some shares down there, but it's relentlessly selling. The market is starting to come way in. So, I mean, the market, someone just put what it cooked market. Yeah, I mean,
Bitcoin's under 95.
we just made all-time highs on Thursday. Was it Thursday or Wednesday? And then all of a sudden, boom, right? So it just takes a couple bad, like, not apples or anything like that, but it's just like today, you do get these downside moves, and it's part of it. Yeah, I know. That's why I didn't want to say, like, it's not an Apple story because
Apple's literally at the high today.
Apple's ripping.
There's no bad apples in this market because
No.
Apple is once again at the highs.
They're selling NVIDIA. I mean, they're selling NVIDIA ahead of earnings, so it's kind of doing like Apple, what I thought would happen right now. So we're going to get out if this breaks through 135. That was our level. We talked to Dirko, so we're going to be out. There we go, we're out. So we talked about that as being a level there. The sell pressure just continues. So I'll probably take 135.50 break upside again, and that would be it for me on that one. We might have just got rinsed out there at 135,
Holy
but I'm happy to
shit.
do that.
320 fucking eight. Tesla, thank you.
With NVIDIA right there, because just kept on falling down. We tried it. Probably should have flipped over the short. Great call there on
Beautiful.
AMD. But yeah, there comes NVIDIA. I'm going to try 135.50 break again, and that would be it. But it looks like it's trying to battle with some demons down here in and around 135. So this is why it's that hit it and quit it moment, right? We talked about that.
Speaking of,
Yeah, go ahead.
AMD support is at the 109 level, so this is a target for me in here. Just come to my 15-minute chart for a quick little second. There we go. There's 109 a couple of times a couple of weeks ago. So flat bottom break here on AMD into here, and then play the next available bounce. The market's really flushing. I can't believe Apple's holding up this well. But try to remember, Apple did this last week, and eventually Apple did this Friday.
Oh yeah.
And then it looked so strong, and then when it finally reverted, it was pretty good. It was right up here at 249
Oh my God.
ish. But rocket ship so far on Apple, sitting here like did it last week. We literally did it on Friday, where it failed just about $1 higher from here. If this market keeps dropping, I don't think Apple's going to hold it up forever. So my trail is going to be in just above the 109 on AMD, and Apple, if it breaks trend. Just because of what happened on Friday, if it breaks trend, I'm going to look for a reversion on Apple here. Let's go to Adara at the desk for happening now.
It's been quite the morning so far today. We have this headline here from our friends at Benzinga. Earlier today, Wall Street looking to bounce back, and then we gave up pretty much all of that bounce here, more than all of that bounce. We have the S&P 500 near days lows. NASDAQ here also near days lows. Not everything is sharply to the downside.
Motherfucking feel it.
Some positive spots. It's worth noting some smaller names here, like B. Riley with the 55% short float popping up right now here as well. So not all hope is lost, but a lot of these larger names struggling. Microsoft actually trying to break a new day's low. MSFT here was plagued by quite a few worries here that were circulated in social media. Initially stemming from TD Cowen and saying that there's a sign of cutback here with their data-centric growth.
I'll take it.
PLTR trying to bounce
Feel
a
it.
little bit here, but much like Microsoft and a lot of these tickers, near low of day as well here. Palantir still dealing with the impacts of reports that there is an extending cutback with regards to the Pentagon. We know that they rely very heavily on military spending. So PLTR and MSFT, just a couple of the names I'd watch here. Probably
Come on,
one
baby.
watch as well. HOOD did pop this morning after announcing that they are basically ending their SEC case for having any against them by the SEC. So keep an eye on these tickers and make sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Back to you.
Did you feel it?
I mean,
Feel it.
thank you, Federa, for all of that. Like, Tesla
Let's go, Tess.
is like
Let's go, Tess.
327 right
Fuck
now.
them. Let's go.
I know this has been a pick. This has been a top pick.
This is
year
crazy.
for Brendan, a top pick for my guy
It can't go
Joe.
lower.
This year, Tesla's really been getting smoked. So I don't, like whether or not we hold this 320, like I told you guys, we bought recently at around this level. And we also sold some Palantir to do that. So we're fine with that.
I'm
but,
all in.
like, wow, Tesla really getting hit to the downside right now. All the political stuff, man, it's not great. Hitting the name for sure there for Tesla. We're trying to be patient, trying to load into some other shorts. I'm gonna reload my
Today was banging negative.
scans coming through right now, so I think it's just because many of the top.
They got it fake
Yeah.
money.
Soxel.
Oh well, yeah. And Nvidia's down to 134.
Yeah, so when I say what's the top of the list, the hot, like a trade rate list here at eSignal. So it's not percentage down or anything like that. It's just, you got Soxel, you got the
Don't let me
Now
down,
we're
Tess.
even tied
There we
with
go.
I don't want to say bleeding. There was a thing on Friday where we'll leave the whole bleeding and tanking for the bigger moves, but you're having a strong
Jesus.
down move in Bitcoin as well. So some weakness coming into there. Apple, as we said, was strong. But even on the way up, getting out made sense on Tesla, but then sometimes you get out at Target and then the stock goes even lower. So AMD's not bouncing off 109. You're still falling. For equity positions, 2 long, 1 short, they've all worked, but this could be like a Friday situation where I'm getting feels of Friday, where we had Palantir, and then we gave up Palantir a little bit too early on the short. I just have to wait for that chart to load. Oh, the other thing that's happening, SNCI just broke $52 and continue to go lower. So I thought we'd get some kind of a pop on SMCI before they report theoretically tomorrow. It's just not happening. So we're out of our 2 longs. Thankfully, both worked in our 1 short. But starting to look for that next opportunity wherever it happens to be. And there just isn't a heck of a lot of strength in this market. I think Apple on a reversion might be the next play for me because it's at Friday's top. So Friday's high right now with the market breaking lows. And what I mean by reversion is just a break of the trend. So we break this trend, go short, stop into the high on Apple. I'm just essentially just connecting the higher lows for a trend line. If we break that trend line, look for the short, stop goes in at the high.
Oh my God.
I mean, what are we even doing here? Oopsies. I want to go into the Zoom mode here and just
Is
see
the
what-
market crashing?
Oh, I'm on the wrong screen here for you. Just
The
looking at
market
this
is
Tesla.
crashing.
That bottom right there is the daily 325.
Oh my
So that
God.
comes back in on whatever day this
The
was.
market's
10-11.
crashing.
So you are getting really close to this Tesla breaking the bottom right now. I think that
Oh
would be
my
something
God.
definitely that I want to.
I am witnessing the market crash.
Wow, 320. Oh, sorry, I'm not even on the stock. There it is right there. 325 Tesla coming in. I think it's worth a little bit of a break, so I'm gonna try it there. I don't know how far to cross down on this trade. I'm gonna give it only 25-30 cents crossing into that move down. Like I want to get short something. Obviously, it's gonna be a little late. to do that on some of these plays. Thank you. So we'll wait to see if that can hold. So right now it is holding, Nvidia down to 133, I mean, get the heck out of the way there. Like, glad that we haven't fought any of these plays that we like. The only short that we did like initially
No way.
was Rivian. What?
Somebody just tried to hold the bid at the low of the day on Palantir for like $250,000. I think that's what I saw, and they just chewed right through them. Like, they just posted the whole lot
Oh, yeah.
right at the low of the day, just said, give it to me. And they got everything they wanted, almost in one shot. So Palantir is not reverting just yet, but it is SSR. If that bid had held, I was probably going to punch long. But now that you're breaking the lows, you're still not breaking the trend here on Palantir, but it's SSR, and that means I'm looking for the bounce. It just has to show you some kind of a reason you get into the long trade. So it's either a reversion there or a reversion on Apple, which hasn't happened yet. Like, it's attempting to break the trend line, but it's strong enough that I don't think you want just any entry short.
Oh my
Apple
God.
has to really break this trend
The
line.
market crashed.
We hit save on it. Looks like we're closed now beneath the trend line, and we can try to get into Apple in here at 247.5. Give it to the prior bar high, which is about 248.
Man, everything is, I'm still trying to, like, I'm trying to find something that potentially, you know, is at some decent levels here.
Oh
And
my
here's the
God.
trade rate for us right now. Oh, Robinhood, down nicely, 6%. So this name just continues to get flushed as well. Nice move downside there for Robinhood today. Wow, MLGO down 30% as well.
Oh
Micro
my
Algo.
God.
I don't know
Oh, wait a
if it's
minute,
getting,
that
yeah. Okay, there it is. So now we are into Tesla. So, all right, well, what price did we get is the question. 75. So we get the price that we actually crossed down into. So, that's never great. I mean, I'd rather have, I told you we were only crossing 75s. So, all right, again, we don't want to play too many breakouts with huge amount of shares or anything because we had played that before and you do get sometimes that bounce back up to the upside. I did think it was worth getting into a little bit here on that. But the problem is like where on any kind of a bounce, how much of that bounce can we trust? Well, these tops right there have been 36.60, so 37s I think is maybe where we'd have to stop out of this trade if it does get away from us. So yeah, we'll wait on it, but here comes the downside. We'll get some more short in and around 326 if we can. So far so good here for this play on Tesla. We're in the short now, new position. It's holding 325 real good. So I'm gonna put a bid at 324, like 15, see if we can get him something down there. But yeah, so far we are short to the downside.
Yeah, the market's now 1% down on the NASDAQ, just hit ES, just tagged a 0.5% to the downside. Like everything is more or less flushing at this point. I think we can use that term because the just went 1.6. Palantir still has yet to make a curl, but it's accelerating and trying to hold this 90.
Now the market goes.
It's gone up and down 90 3 times here on Palantir. I think this could be the level that's starting to hold. So if we can close above 90, close this above 90, I'm going to look for that long. We are in the reversion on Apple. That breaks 48. It's a relatively strong stock. So if we break back above the prior bar high on that trend line, then I'm just going to get out of there. It's only about 30 cents worth of risk, give it some slippage above that even dollars. But if you're going to take a first hit, then it's going to be a tight one because we're short a strong stock.
Right.
And that's just got to be able to respect it. AMD, I would like to get back in AMD, but I'm going to
There
be
goes
very
Tesla.
patient about where I short this thing after getting trailed out of it. Continue to go lower, now down 2% here on AMD. SMCI, I just saw TX Trader, SMCI bouncing off 50 clean. That's what I'm looking for on Palantir, although Apple just came out, but I got to worry about getting into Palantir, just closed above that 90. Now we'll look for the bounce on PLCR, maybe back through 91 even.
Okay, so I mean Tesla, I have to stop a fail. You know, we went long the first time it worked, then it broke, then we just went short. So we got out. So I'm trying to rebuild another position here. That's a huge bump up in the market. Like I don't really see what's going on right there, but it is starting to go back up to the upside. So we're gonna have to try to respect that. I'm just gonna try to wait to this 330, 331 area. That's 331.25. So we'll sit here. ATCH. Up 300%
That's halted twice.
right now, yeah, just reopened. So there it goes, $10 right now for, what is this like, ATCH? Or it's not Archer, is it? Oh no, it's that Atlas Clear Holdings. Right now, breaking 310, so
Atlas didn't shrug there.
yeah, probably something up with that name. We'll definitely check it out over there right now. So nice move upside
No one knows that.
for Atlas.
Oh, apparently it was earnings. Well, the other thing on that ATCH.
Which was
Shoot, I had it up there a second ago. Where is it? It's only a 23 million float on ATCH, so relatively small float on ATCH. Apple just broke the high of the day, so we'll slap the L on that one. It's the first time we took an L today, and it was sort of strong stock. Had to give it a tight stop. Palantir. So there's the. Can I zoom in? Yeah, I can. Hopefully, does that look any better? Yeah. Bottoming tail wick through 90.5 was a prior low. So there's your wick through 90. It just held the prior low. Actually got in and instantly, I don't know, I think I must have keystroked it because I instantly got out of half like a fool and then tried to jump back in at the same price. Didn't get it. We'll see if we can push into 93. Otherwise, it holds 90.5 and we're looking for just some kind of a reversion trade here to Palantir. As the market's trying to bottom, I think you got to start looking for some obvious longs. SMCI is too far gone at this point. Like SMCI is already back at VWAP, so then you can kind of stick a fork in that. Hopefully Palantir can do something resembling this. But you pick the one that you want. And SMCI, I wasn't really expecting it to be that big of a move back into the upside. If Palantir does half of that, we'd be happy with it. Apple looking very strong. We'll go over to that one for you guys. As we did take out that 48, short under trend, break of the prior bar close at 248, and we'll just have to work out this one to the upside. You know, at this point, I feel as if the longs that we like, not even getting back into Nike, that can't even sniff VWAP, that's still going stronger. Palantir is more of like a gimmick trade at that SSR, and then going back over to Tesla, that was another one that we want to take longs in. This one would have been a nice mean version, but if you had 325 on your bingo card this morning, then more power to you. I can tell you there's no chance that I had that. So I wasn't even looking at these levels, just Palantir and SSR, and we'll see what trade is going to come in next year for us. Maybe a reload in AMD if the market's strong enough.
Yeah, hopefully a tank in Tesla happens here because we are short right now some Tesla into that 331. So we went short down here. We just thought they could continue. I mean, I thought it was worth it. I mean, at the end of the day, we wanted taking that $2 hit on that. You know, we spun earlier winners on it, but we'll obviously turn red here on Tesla. It's going to be this position pending. And I'm trying to use this 331.25 or so area to go right there. So that's a very, very interesting spot here to look at for TSLA for sure. NVIDIA's made its way all the way back up, man. I mean, again, talk about like trying to find good names at good levels. Like that's a good one there. Like you mentioned, they're trying to find that Palantir bottom as well. But right there, 130s coming into play, 132 or change there for NVDA. Possible bottom spot there. You're already on Palantir. And then now we don't want to break through 330. But if this market does try to come back, I mean, when we look at the cues, we actually, and again, you know, those of you guys that were in the chat there, we had talked about, you know, where that next sort of level was. We did whoosh down into 520. We said maybe that 522 was the next spot. So right now you're up about $1 from that, and you also went down about $1 from there. So now you're trying to play with that 522 level on the cues and see if there's anything with that one. But for right now, we're kind of like dead in the water here. If this breaks up too much more on us here for Tesla, then yeah, we're gonna have to stop out because this name really strong, caught a bid there off the bottom of 325. So we sit here to take risks, we talk about that, and there it goes, we have a 75% as that continues to go back up to the upside. So yeah, Tesla not really working out there, and there goes NVIDIA, man. Wow, I was saying I was gonna take 135.50 long again. Wow, she just gone long down at that bottom. So here's Tesla. I think we just wait on it. The market's making its way to VWAP. Maybe we just wait to see if that's going to be it. But Nike, someone just said, look at that. Is that ripping, I guess?
It's ripping, but 6,000 on the ES just held. So I think maybe this could be one of those types of moves. If we close, let's just full screen this because you guys can't see that properly. You could essentially put a bottoming tail candle on the ES, breaking that 6,000 level, and then going right back on a 15 and closing above the prior bar low. that's a heck of a potential bullish reversal. So longs in a VWAP, I think, make a lot of sense. If you can hold on to this bottom, it's like 6,015 on the ES, or if you're looking at the NASDAQ, it's like 2156, something along those lines. I think you look pretty strong. That said, I'm putting Palantir into a different category. It just tried to get to 93. At this point, trend in, trend out. So if either it breaks 93 and gives us VWAP, or if it loses the trend, which would be under, right now it's under 92, then I'm going to jam out of Palantir, look for some reversions as well on stocks that I think are strong. Because if we do that bounce that we was talking about on the futures, I think you're going to have some opportunities at longs. And I'd rather be going into a strong stock. So as much as this was the losing trade for me on Apple, and then it eventually wicks the high and goes back in, I think I'd look for a long play here on Apple. If the market's going to hold this low, Apple above VWAP makes a heck of a lot of sense. I mean, you're out and about above the 50 period on the daily. The reversion trade is like it's a setup, but it is not the trend. It's the opposite of the trend, and Apple's trend is to the upside. So if we're reverting on the futures, Apple long on VWAP kind of seems like a no-brainer to try a test in. Tesla's pretty much far gone. Oh, and that NLGO, everybody, micro algo, yeah, load, halted to the upside now, but still down 30%. Be careful with this. It hasn't been holding open for very long. A lot of times, if you can have like a consolidation, meaning it actually goes more than 10 minutes without a halt, that's a good level to trade off of. So I'm just be patient before looking at this small capper, but it's now halted to the upside. Tap is 446, which is effectively flat.
Yeah, so a couple of holders are joining the midday show, of course, show's back, so that's really great. We're happy to have a full complement today. All right, so shout out to Joey's back. All right, so NVIDIA didn't quite get to the shorting area there of that 136. If you were thinking the market was going to turn around just a little bit, not right now, apparently, on NVIDIA. So we'll see. That might have been the top at 135. We'll see if it wants to get
Go, Tess, go!
That one. Full self-drive seems to be working out for Teslas. That's back to 332 right now. I don't really want to short this name, so I know you had that good long right now on Palantir. And then maybe AMD.
I literally trailed out the second you said the word Palantir.
Yeah, good. Okay, that's good though. All right, so AMD underneath though, coming into VWAP again, still down that 1 point something. Probably better to short some weaker names, right, than going after a strong name again like a Tesla. That high wick there though got to 109.70. Feel like that's probably reasonable. Let's start something now on AMD and see if we can get into it. Well, we're into it now, but really into that 110. I mean, that's going to be good. You got a lot of support there, you know, plus the market trying to finally potentially come back in. Let's put on a little something there now and give it up to that 110. But if we get something even more, that would be fine. We're pushing a little bit more now. 109. I was looking at the level 109.80, I guess. 10, yeah, I mean, somewhere to feel like we really want to put something on. But here we go. We got a position now. So if this can work out, great. But even if it goes down, right? I mean, how far? I think this 108.50 would be a good little level there. Forget about that sort of flush jump down there. But at the end of the day, yeah, there it goes right now for that. Palantir is still going to be P&L number one today. Just because of that, we've given it back on Tesla there. We are going to be in AMD. We'll see how that works out. But yeah, Tesla, not good. Palantir, great. That's holding the day right there. And NVIDIA's been fine. Just lost it right there. And then there's that 135.50 level that we wrote down as a long. It looks like it was the exact top there for that play. All right, so AMD dancing. It's the only short that I have right now. Oh no, yeah, I'll throw back to you in a second. Big Bear, somebody just asked about, what's up, Charlie? So it's down, okay, so I should be buying some more actually. So we bought Rigetti at the 50 period moving average, and that worked out huge. You can see Big Bear actually worked out for that pretty good all the way back into the fall. So that could be something if you really thought, but why not start it right now? All right, man, right there, the P&L number 2 for you on the day is now AMD, and we just put that trade on. So let's get something out here on the downside and then see if we can hold the rest into that 105.50 area for Palantir. There it is right there. So you just got to sort of stick with what you're doing and trade the short names into a market that looks like this.
Yeah, and also make sure you get out of the
And now Tesla does that?
Because as quick as you do, What goes up must come down all morning long here. Palantir, as I said, the second that John was talking about Palantir, I trailed out of Palantir. Trend in, trend out. I think it's going to be that kind of a morning where if you get a reversion trick, make sure you take your profit. The second it broke that very slight upward trend to 91.5, we got out at like 92.
Wow.
Obviously, trend line moves the longer it goes up, you know, your trailing stock gets a little bit higher. Instead of 92 even, it was like 92.25. So we're in and out of Palantir. Nike's breaking the high of the day, so there's no chance to get back into that one yet. But this is sort of the other thing, like when I'm getting in trend and trend out, not getting a reload at 79, not coming into VWAP is Nike at all, but it's now up 6%. And it's one of the only things that is a small capper that's actually running to the upside. So if you're looking for a long, it's probably this. Here on Nike, it's just a matter of when we're able to join it again. Only Apple has been bad for me, and that's because I went against the trend and the grain. Let's see what other small cappers might be moving with Adara and the small cap weekend.
We're gonna start with your IWM. This is a 15-minute chart, down about 70% right now. Is the Russell 0.7%, not 70%. 0.7% to the downside here for the IWM and the Russell 2000. Continuing to make lower highs from last week. ATC8, that's Atlas Clear. They're certainly going to be able to watch here. As Sharif mentioned, they are an earnings play with about a 9.5% short float. They did actually have a year-over-year decrease in their earnings per share, but I guess their sales were well received. Also, the short float, probably a great look as well for ATC8. RILY, also a much bit of a larger cap name, but in case you missed it, they reported their earnings for Q3 pretty late, but with an hour left until their delisting deadline. That was Friday, right before the close there. Now, today, they've announced that they're actually going to be reporting their Q4 earnings on March 3rd. Market liking that pretty well. They're up quite significantly. And also with B. Riley, we have a pretty significant short float, about 55%. Last but not least, NVNI. This is a Brazilian company here. This company is going to be able to watch. They rallied in the past with about a 5% short float, but no news today. Back to you.
You won't in talking about picking something perfect, pretty much, that 332 level was huge, and then I just go back to it, we'd be up on Tesla if we had just held that, but we got stopped out there at 332. What can you do? Breaks that level and goes down to that downside. Adara's still live, by the way, so here we go. All right, so just honestly, nailed the level. I hope you guys have it there on Tesla. Just stopped out right there on the biggest position, notionally probably 100x that you've seen on the show today, at least, probably, the position that I had on there right there, so that is what it is, but stopped out there on Tesla, so, all right, that's too bad, because that was just a huge play, so nice downside play there. I do want to give a big shout out to Adara, making some real money over there on the desk, so big shout out to Adara, the #1 trader here at Trader. Right? #1 P&L right now at Trader TV Live is Miss Adara. So shout out to that right there. So congrats to Adara. I want to say get it to Adara. Congratulations. As that's all we have here is good vibes. We shout out good vibes. We shout out congratulatory statements all of the time. So congratulations, Adara. The #1 P&L, it's not even close today. So thank you to Adara.
Good job there, Adara, for sure. I'm gonna get back into Nike when we get an opportunity. I'll go to the next trade, everybody. AMD is at VWAP. I know you're in that one, but I'm still looking for it a little bit. Actually, no, it's not at VWAP. Check that. AMD is not at VWAP just yet, but it's getting pretty close. We'll look through the reload if we get an opportunity there. Trend has been down and nice on that.
Oh my God, Tesla.
Apple also looking a little bit tipsy here. It's trying to make a little bit higher. Another move into this 247. The NASDAQ and the ES are still pulling the same move. You're still trying to hold that higher low. So you've wicked underneath, but this is the key 15-minute bar. Can you close it? If you close it above, or at least above this 60-17, 60-16, you can close above that. It's a bullish reversal. You close underneath, it's the opposite. So want to see this in the next 5 minutes, 5-6 minutes. Are we able to do that? Hold. If you do, I want to look long for the VWAP. Reload those short opportunities if we close underneath. So I think patience makes sense, unless the stock is at the level that I like. So if it's maybe Nike off of VWAP, I don't want that.
There we go, Tess. Come on.
I'm not buying any highs in the future. They're trying to resolve themselves. You got to be patient. And I saw in the chat, why is Robinhood down? Because A, because the market's down, but B, specifically on that SEC news, remember that Coinbase didn't exactly have a good day when they had the same story last week. And they gapped up and then reverted the entire thing. But keep in mind, the 47 on Robinhood, 50 period, it's also prior support. We get to 47 on Robinhood, I'm looking for longs. It's already broken 49 a couple times, so this is within spitting distance. We said that at the open, it's like, what are the chances we get down there? Well, suddenly, there's a decent chance we see 47 on Hood. That's where I'm looking for the long on Robinhood.
All right. You're welcome, Hang. You're welcome to everybody there in the chat for this Tesla trade. Oh, that's so frustrating because, oh boy, we could have been joining the ranks of Adara as far as trading excellence because we should have hit that right there. But we got stopped out, man. We got stopped out by about 60 pennies on that trade. So yeah, that's too bad, right? Anyways, yeah, congratulations to all. And hopefully to all, good night on AMD. I mean, hopefully this will come back in, right? I mean, we're fine. I'll be red on the day because of that trade, right? So that's okay. We'll get it back. I'm not worried about that. I'm just sad that we let it go down up there on Tesla because, like I said, what we had on board there would have turned all these frowns completely upside down. Instead, the frown increases, but that's okay. We went over to another name, right? And now we have never held this against us right here. AMD now representing that 50 period. there it is. Yes, sir. All right, we'll put another bid rate. Oh, we just held it up at 94. No, we didn't. Nice move down there for AMD. We said 108.50-ish would be a decent area. So I'm going to put a bid on 108.60-ish and get out a little bit more down there for AMD. And then hopefully we can get a little bit of a lower move if the market does come back in. So there it goes right now, man. Nice move to the downside. We have a bunch of videos out for those of you asking. So go check it out at Trader TV on YouTube. You'll get all of that. Over 9,800 of you watching, 1,700 likes. Get that like button going. Come on, AMD, get to the downside right now. I'm short AMD, nothing right here for Neil, but we're waiting for more opportunities to go. So, that Tesla's gonna make me sick, but that's okay. Palantir right here, cracking 90 as well. That low of the day right there, 89.40. Let's see what winds up happening with that one. But hopefully it's an AMD disaster day. But I don't know if that's gonna be the case or not. So we'll go over to the desk right now at 10:27 with Adara.
Keep an eye here on the trade desk. TTD getting a little bit of a volume pop. I'm seeing this article circulated here on X. Apparently, Microsoft has launched a free ad-supported version of Office apps for Windows. The functionality is limited, but the ad-supported part is what's important here for TTD. They basically help with ads. They're an ad, related tech company. So TTD pushing to the upside here with some volume on this report that Microsoft has launched an ad-supported version of their Office app for Windows. Back to you.
Alrighty then. Yeah, daily range for Tesla, it's generally quite large. So 346 right there. We did have that peak down at 346. We do have that low down there, 324. So watch out now for Tesla coming back in. And again, though, we lamenting that trade, right? That's because again, when you put on size and it doesn't work out, it sucks, especially when 2 minutes later it does. But you know what, man? We put on our big boy pants and come right back. And then this is what AMD's doing. So Neil, we got P&L number 1 with Palantir. We got P&L number 2 with AMD. We've got the disaster P&Ls with Nvidia and Tesla. So let's just find out better trades and find out where we can put on some more liquidity. And again, we don't discuss share sizes, but you guys put on whatever trades and share size that you want. If you like certain trades, take them. If you don't, then don't. And put your ideas in the chat as well. Tweet them at us. I put something out every morning a couple times about trade ideas and whatnot. So, let me know what you guys are thinking. There goes Palantir there, breaking through 90 now to that downside. So, mentally, hopefully I'll try to recover from this Tesla trade, but oh boy, did we have shares up here, and nice move to the downside. Congratulations to all that did it right there, but John's like, man, why is it not on your account? We already showed you and told you why, but we're happy to have AMD coming back in as well right now. So yeah, Walmart, Robinhood, again, some of these names, I know Neil just talked about it, but Robinhood also getting hit to the downside. Now, it's only down 5%, but Palantir went SSR a minute ago, now down 11.5%. So that Tesla's a hell of a banger. You are right about that one, guys.
JP Morgan's down. I mean, the fact that the XLF is actually up is it's not a miracle, but it's actually off the lows. But you're bleed everywhere in the market except for Apple and Nike, as far as I'm concerned. Just want to find the next opportunity that's right, because I look over and it's like the only thing that wasn't part of the initial trading plan was Apple, and like that's the one that's going to end up being a loss. Like Apple, the level was 245.5, and Apple was above 245.5, and I shorted it above it and took the L on it. But as far as I'm concerned, if it doesn't break that low, I want to look for some kind of a long here on Apple. Nike is starting to pull right back into VWAP, so it looks like we might get an opportunity to jump back into this. With this market, it's not looking very good, but at least Nike's relatively good. So this 80 level here at Nike, we're waiting for it to pull back into VWAP and the 80 level, and that's going to be hopefully it. Tesla's still doing its thing. AMD never got to VWAP for us. That's a great shorting stock. I think when you call it the advanced money destroyer, until proven otherwise, this thing is going to be a short. I was looking for a press a little bit higher to get a little tighter into that 110 level, because I wanted to give it to 110. Didn't really break that 109.5. But just gonna be patient. As I said, only had one missed hit. I think that's because I wasn't patient enough in Apple, and we'll see what comes next. I do still like Palantir for some reversions, but at this point, if you're gonna try and kind of sniper Palantir for a long trade, it's gonna have to make some kind of a distinct bottom. It just broke the low again. If you pull out the daily chart, I hate to say it, but you're now all of a sudden only a couple of percentage points away from that big 50 period moving average at 86. That's the go zone for Palantir. If it doesn't hold 90, 86 would be the one. Oh yeah, and Rivian. That was the other missed opportunity. That said, Rivian's at VWAP when the market's at the bottom. Rivian might be putting a little bit of a buy in here if it can hold above VWAP. We've seen it do this story before where it looks weak off a resistance level and then just starts holding VWAP for the rest of the day. So keep an eye on Rivian for that play. I just feel like it's going to be Nike at 90 if we even get a shot at it. Doesn't seem to want that VWAP there. I'm not really looking at crypto, but I am glad that Adara is about to give us the goods on what's going on in that sector.
Here's Bitcoin in the daily chart. Unfortunately, it's not a great look. We had sort of that double top here when we made all-time highs, so slightly above it, of course, to make that high. That was on Inauguration Day. Since then, we've only really had lower highs and lower lows for BTC. The next low that we could take out here, which was from last Tuesday, February 18th, that came in around 93.4. So right now, we're trading about 1,000 points above that at 94.4. Let's see if BTC continues its decline. This would be its second straight losing day, and certainly a decline from that high that we made on February 21st at around 99,500, just shy of the 100,000 level. And in case you were not aware, we've not been above 100,000 since February 7th, and we haven't closed above 100K since February 3rd. In terms of crypto-related news, I think the biggest catalyst here by far in the crypto space is going to be Robinhood getting its SEC case dismissed, according to the company. So back in May 2024, there was an investigation opened by the SEC specifically into Robinhood's crypto division with regards to its asset listing, custody practices, and trading operations. They believe the company potentially violated some securities laws. Now the investigation has been closed, and this is the second investigation closed in basically 2 days, or at least 2 trading days, because Coinbase on Friday announcing that their investigation from the SEC has also been closed. So maybe some regulatory relief for the crypto space. BTC down about 1%, Ethereum getting hit harder here, hanging out around 26.5, down about 5%, XRP down about 5%, Solana 9%, BNB 2%, Cardano and Doge both 6+%. So big long story short, lots of weakness in the world of crypto. Back.
We are still pushing this right here with AMD. So we're still gonna watch to see. It's now near that bottom. I do have a bid here at 62s for some reason. Looks like I should just be at 70. So let me just change that right there and cancel. Oopsies, that's way too many shares. Let me just cancel that order now in the 60s. Keep it there in the 70s, and then there it is. Yes, sir. Sounds like a good one. We will get a chicken dinner winner. Why not? Right there. Thank you. Those of you that missed me last week. I missed you as well. Glad to be back right now as well. So that's going to be a good one there. The missed trade of the day for me would be holding on to that trade. But we did do well by going right back into AMD, man. Put that butter right on that bread, and good trade there for us on AMD with that short. So making back a little bit right there on that play. All right, let's look. I want to check out some energy names. XOM today as well, 111 and change coming through. So that's 111, 111.50 to the top. Kind of boring right there. Occidental. I saw that Warren and change are sitting on a lot of cash. So we'll have to wait to see if they're in there to buy some Oxy. Nice little downside moving to their 46. Might be buying the other kind of Oxy. I don't know. But right now, Oxy, nice move to the upside as Occidental. Not today, but off that bottom, 46. Where's the buy level right now? We'll have to find out about that. I didn't read enough about the Berkshire letter there to see what their plans are moving forward. But with that name, I was going to look again. Apple was a name that we often talk about. In the VWAP there could be a dip buy up on the day, which is nice, up with 3/4 versus the market down 3/4. ES also down a little bit. The market did try to recover, but did not for very long there today. So this could be a decent opportunity there. Thing is, we're starting to, I'm still trying to push that short. So for right now, we're going to do that. My next trade is just trying to wait for AMD, see if we can get it back to any of these levels, including a VWAP trade. I just don't know if that's going to be coming through as well. And then before we go back to Neil, the other trade that we had short was going to be Rivian. So I wonder if that can come back up to the 200 period as well and look for a reloaded short there. Doesn't seem like there's too much action happening. We wear our High Park hat because we were at baseball evaluations on Saturday, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. That was a lot of fun. Then we had to drive up to Gravenhurst, where your Etobicoke Dolphins took on the North Bay Trappers. Okay, nice move to the downside. One more time here for Advanced Micro Devices. Bang! It is your money trade of the day. This is now the #1 P&L stock here is AMD. Neil, kill him with kindness.
Where can you find trading opportunities? I'll tell you where. With eSignal traders, because listen up, the first month is going to be free. They're waiving fees over at eSignal. Try it out for free. Lightning fast data, highly customizable charts, entitlement pretty much on every single market that you could imagine. The ability to back test, forward test, all of the indicators and studies that you would want so that you can trade confidently. Get those lightning fast market insights with game-changing charts with eSignal. It's all about the all-in-one platform. You can connect to your broker or many brokers out there. The ability to connect to an API as well if you want to automate your trading. Shoutouts to eSignal. Do not miss out on this opportunity. Scan the QR code you see right in front of you. Free is a pretty good opportunity, everybody. If you don't like it, drop it. So take a shot at the link is in the description as well. Market heading back into the downside. Nike is trying to hold on to VWAP, trying to hold on to trend, it's trying to close above the trend line. Once it does that, we're going to look for the long off VWAP back into the highs, up 5% on Nike. It's broken out on the daily. Whoops, there you go. Oh, the other one's not there, so we'll just use this.
Yeah, test, see.
Nike,
Get it,
broken out when this loads on the daily here. But it is still trying to battle with that 200 period. But we've broken that 79. We're trend up into a relatively weak market. But once we close this trend above, gonna look for the long in Nike, and then the next trade as well, kind of hunting for that Palantir. It might have done the reversion already, so I have to get into that Nike trade. Palantir VWAP. If we don't get the bottom, then we got to start looking for the VWAP fade. Worth noting 93 was resistance when we had the long on Palantir before. With double barrel resistance. I don't think 93 curl or VWAP curl on Palantir. Down 10%, so it is SSR. When a stock is short sell restricted, sometimes it can really get going. There is the close above the trend line on Nike. So we'll go into the long off 36, give it to the prior bar low. If it breaks 80s, then we're out of Nike. Probably want to look at Apple as well if you're trying to hunt for relatively strong stocks. That just lost VWAP. Well, oddly enough, this ends up being an L here. Shorting it could have jumped back into the short, but at the end of the day, we're looking at a lot of strength there in Apple, and the market was bouncing off of those highs. So right now, Apple underneath VWAP. I prefer to be long this stock. but we'll see how it resolves here underneath VWAP in the next 15 minutes or so. We're waiting around for that chance to get back in tonight, and Bill Ackman likes it. I like trend lines. We'll see if it ends up heading to the upside, back into this 81 here in Nike. Remember, up at these highs, is it rejecting the 200 period on the daily? So I would suspect there's some sellers here a second time through.
So the only thing that I was looking, I mean, I'm trying to look at Apple here, so I do have some bids. Apple just came back in, but it didn't really get in too low. I was trying to wait for this 245.50 area to have a look, so I was going to start buying some 245.75. So if that does come in, I am bidding again a big position down there at 245.75, just to try to see if we can hold those levels there. We're out of about 55% now. I'm gonna get out another 5%, there it is, at 75s there on AMD. It seems like it wants to hold these levels. So now we have 40% left of AMD at this level. So I'm happy with that amount. So we'll wait to see if that can go upside. So that's AMD. And then I was just trying to like look through Palantir and try to figure out, you know, if a break of VWAP and what that kind of looks like there on some of these plays for Palantir. So I'm gonna do some work on this and then we'll figure out what we need to do, because that VWAP right there is 93.50 or so on Palantir.
We out here trading.
You know, like we broke it there on Thursday and we went from 101 up to 103. We broke it there at around the same time, 10:50 or so on Friday, but then didn't really get going at all. So yeah, I'm not sure about that kind of a VWAP break on PLTR, but we'll wait for it to see what is going on. All right, big day today, and big green screen with Adara.
Some green in this market here, including in health technology, consumer non-durables, consumer services, communications, and health services with the exception of UNH. In case you missed it, UNH actually a day 2 move because on Friday there's some reports here they're going to be facing an DOJ investigation. Also this DOJ investigation is CRWD, CrowdStrike over here in technology services. That name and Palantir are selling off pretty heavily. There's also some weakness in Microsoft, Meta, Oracle, and Netflix. So Google trying to bring this group up to the upside. Electronic technology has NVIDIA down about 1.4% despite initial attempts for this thing to push to the upside off the open. Broadcom also selling off pretty heavily here. Now in terms of other areas of weakness, retail trade not looking great. Walmart, simply earnings day 3 is selling off here along with Amazon and Home Depot, though other sectors here like commercial services are relatively flat. So pretty mixed picture, but there is some green to be found in this market, guys. Back to you.
It's not all bad. That Alphabet story. Yeah, I mean, Alphabet holding the lows there. They were one of the strong ones. We actually didn't talk about this in the pre-market, but they were one of the strong ones, but wasn't doing anything with that open trade. Just sort of lost it like everything else. But the Friday low managed to hold. I know if you're watching in the morning on Friday, or pretty much all day long on Friday, like I know both over now were looking for that bottom on Alphabet. It was one of those, you could get away with the longs on it, but it wasn't really following through. I like Apple. I like Alphabet at that 200 period. Why? Because the stock has been respecting it. So I don't know if today is going to be the day, but I suspect this week we might get a test for a reload in the long term, I should say, on Alphabet. We'll see if we end up getting it. But the only new trade is Nike, and so far so good on that one as it's bouncing off VWAP, just headed to 80.60. Let's see if we can get back into that high of the day at 81. Nike holding strength, market holding weakness. The trend is your friend, everybody.
Yep. Yeah, dollar right now on AMD. Thank you for asking, Sharif. There it goes. A nice move there for AMD as we just sit back and relax. And remember, you know, many traders around here that we've had in the back, many traders, they'll trade in sim mode. And I mean, you know, winning in sim mode is one thing. Actually trading to make money is a completely other thing. So remember, it's a mental game what trading is. So you gotta stay in that zone, and we're reminded of that today when we talked about
I can't
you know,
wait,
that
Daddy.
Tesla trade. You know, and it's just like, if I'm in sim mode here or trading in small shares, it's easy to hold certain things.
Right.
You know, but when you actually have
Right.
skin in the game
Right.
is when it matters.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, so I just want to make sure that everybody understands that, you know,
You don't hold that
It's
shit
one thing
still.
to see some of these trades, it's another thing to be in them, right? And
I
so,
need another
get
muffin.
comfortable doing that. That's like my number one advice to you. You know, is get comfortable making decisions
Preach.
that you would make regardless of share size. And I think that's something that means a lot to all the successful traders around here. It's you can't ever get to that level until you're at that level, and once you get there, you'll know what I mean, right? So we're
I
all
need my
trying,
25
to
equity.
up our games and add more and more shares to all of the trades that we have as you get better. But you know, if you're in that zone right now where it's like, I'm like not really feeling it, then that's where you should be lowering your default, not going the other way. So again, you know, take everything for what it's worth, but like this trade for me right there, this is why I'm trying to tell you, AMD PL number 1, Palantir PL number 2. These are the two biggest P&L names on the show. So where are the two biggest losers? Tesla is the biggest losing P&L today, and it's on Nvidia as well. So these two stocks right there, 2 for 2, bad side and red today is what I am. So that's what's happening right there on Tesla. But hey, man, you know, you take your shots and you deal with it, and we're gonna come back, and we're not worried about it. But just letting you guys know that those are the trades. 109.50. We just took that dollar. We only now have 35% left on this trade. So we're just trying to take it out slow, piece by piece. And again, remember what we called when we were in this trade. We called 108.50, and it was just in this area. So now that we're seeing that, we're starting to get out more and more of this as we finally start to base out. So there it goes, again and again and again. No, I know zero gravity. I don't want anybody interested in my P&L. I'm just trying to tell you guys that until you actually put the trades on, it's a completely different beast. And you got to get comfortable trading more share size. And until you do that, you know, you're just
How bright is that?
spinning in the wind, right? And so that's the one thing there. But hey, put them together. Trading is a 98% failure rate. So, you know, it's not an easy game, but at the same time, I think Neil and I are doing a good job, and we all do on the show, of showing you, you know, what trades we're interested in, what we're looking at. Neil and I have completely gotten away, and maybe we should get back to it, of trading anything small cap.
It was none I like today.
No, I know, but I'm saying
There was a few. There was a couple.
no, I'm saying, if you rewind, let's just say 6 months, definitely we were in many more names than we were today. So me and Neil definitely focusing on big cap names. The midday guys will focus more on mid cap names or small cap names. And that's sort of how
Much better.
we're doing it in and around here. So
Working on the lighting.
Anthony C3 says, not, whoops. Oh, sometimes the chat was fast, but then you went right in there.
Oh.
It's a statistical 78% failure rate according to brokerages.
Yeah, way higher than that.
I don't know what style of trading that's talking about. Like, who knows? Like, because that could be like lumping maybe like some swingish, long-termish buy-hold stuff into primarily active trading. I can tell you for specifically day trading on a prop floor, it is much higher than that. So specifically, my guess is that statistic, 78%, is lumping some buy and hold sort of long-term swing strategies in there, which is going to skew the averages and help it out a little bit. Much harder than that, everybody. So when you're focusing on trying to like refine your execution, one thing I found is like trying to make sure that you're getting in at a price level or at an area that makes sense to you, so you know where you're wrong. Like if you operate in a video on Nike, then we jump out of it. But for now, it's looking pretty good here. And I want to go with SMCI and AMD for the next. So SMCI is now respecting VWAP. Get rid of that trend line. That's from Friday. Completely irrelevant. But SMCI is starting to hold underneath VWAP. 7% down. Every second that ticks on this thing. Why is it still making? I flipped to SMCI. Every time. Yeah, it might be. All right, that chart's gonna crash. I'll just stick with the 3 minute. Every second that ticks here on SMCI is closer to the deadline for them. And I feel as if there's just a little bit of trepidation here. Even with that big bounce we saw at 50, can't get above VWAP. It showed a lot of strength. If we fail VWAP again, I'd look for a short trade. AMD didn't want to give us VWAP before, but it's right back into those lows. So sometimes you just gotta maybe get away from a particular execution strategy, like short in front of VWAP, and I could have taken the trend trade. I'm glad Sean got into it. It was a great one. But I have a strategy for that, and it's like the reversal, so you can revert it in the other direction, which would have been to the downside here on AMD. Next pop, maybe I'll look for that trend break. Adara?
US dollar here on the daily chart, if you're gonna look at it from a technical standpoint, just continuing on this downtrend that we've basically been in since we made this most recent high here on January 13th. Since then, it's been a series of lower highs and lower lows for that US dollar. Next area of support or resistance really coming in here at around 101 halves, currently trading around 106.6 for the USD. So what economic events do we have to look forward to today? Not a lot in terms of any numbers releases, but we do have some Trump talk to be aware of. Donald Trump greeting Macron, you're the president of France, on at 12:15. Then they'll be apparently meeting at 12:20. There'll be a press conference at 2 p.m. I looked into this. There's nothing immediately market moving that I could see that would be discussed here. It's more likely going to be geopolitical, but regardless, we will keep an eye on the Twitter sphere to see if anything is said with regards to this meeting that will be of notice. Tomorrow we get some Fed speak, including Fed's Barkin and Fed's Bar. And then if we go forward later in the week, as of Thursday, we're going to be getting some GDP data and more Fed speak. And then Friday, we're going to be PCE. So I think Thursday and Friday are going to be the bigger days when it comes to economic data that could be market moving. Be aware of that, but also be aware, today I'm not seeing any Fed speakers on the docket, but other than that, they're on watch pretty much every day this week. So Fed speak, certainly something to be aware of, guys. Back to you.
Yeah, we talked about it being a huge week, so we'll get the earnings calendar out to you guys soon as well. Yeah, Hims up, Nike up 5.
Hims is reporting.
Ooh,
That's a big one, man. Hims 32.5% short flow. Shout out to the Jedi in the chat, or just Jedi in the chat. We appreciate the super chat here. Morning, Hims and Zoom today. Any thoughts? Well, that's kind of why I was just throwing out there that Hims is going to be a big one. Last week Hims was, let's just say, a bit of a volatile beast. Can't speak for Zoom. I haven't really looked at the stock, but Hims, we just talked about the escalator up and the elevator down. This was elevator up, elevator down on Hims. The good news, I think, is because it's dropped so far, at least it has a better chance to squeeze back into the upside, because Hims has already pulled back 30-something% after the Friday run, plunge, and then, of course, another 5% in here for him. So you get a bit of a trend reversal, I think, could happen. Already happening here on Hims. I think you've got to be a little bit patient. Just look to see if it's going to, like, it's at the VWAP. You got to break out that 48 level, I think, and then maybe start making a couple more higher lows. When you're taking that bottom trend reverse, if you're not long there, picking it up before it actually breaks out the top is a little bit tricky because it can stay on trend. Zoom is one that I haven't looked at Zoom in quite some time. I can tell you we use it pretty much exclusively here. That's not helping the stock down 3% today. And usually when I see this, like, if you're not short the flat bottom break, wait for it to get to the next big level. 78, there it is. Love the graphic. 78 is the next level here on Zoom. It already gave you a flat bottom break. I think if you had that in this morning, I'd ask what the catalyst would have been to have taken it. But 78 level once, twice, and very likely thrice. It looks like the stock wants to see it. You like Zoom.
All right, yeah, Zoom is a good stock there. Look at AMD right now, more than $1 as it continues to go to the downside. We're out of BABA, man. We sold at 137. We talked about that on Thursday when we were here. I was like, I'm getting out of this stock, so we did get out of Alibaba at 137 on Thursday after market. Maybe it might have been 136 and change. I'll have to check the liquidity on it, but we're out of Alibaba. We talked about that huge move to the upside. So last time we got out in and around 117.50, made the move down, just made that move up. Now down 10% today is Alibaba. So, and again, that was a reported trade that I talked about on Thursday that we were going to get out after hours there on Alibaba. The only trade that we were waiting for here this afternoon, or during the after part of the closing part of this show, was to get that Apple long. And unfortunately, it didn't come into the 200 period moving average, but what a good long that had been right there. We are under 30% left now. I'm going to put another bid. There we go, take another 5%. So we have 20x%, low 20s left now on AMD, as this name just keeps coming out to that downside there. So for me on the TQQs, like, I still want to get short here for sure today. and I don't think this 50 period moving average is just like, we got waxed is the wrong word because we did it, but I was just gonna say there on Tesla, the problem is that we had gotten out there. Now I don't, as Neil mentioned there, you got to find the key levels, and I think that's something that I don't know why 332. 40s or whatever, that 333s I guess was the high. We used 332 and change there to get out once it broke, and then now you're seeing that move back in right now. So not a great play there so far here for the name that is Tesla. I wish we were still in that. We are not as Tesla continues to make that move lower here. So not a great day for TSLA. What was the
New low on NVIDIA.
Okay, good. Well, hopefully new low on AMD too.
Yeah, it's one of those, if the market hasn't made a new low and NVIDIA has made a new low and holds underneath it, then the market's probably about to, because that's just how NVIDIA rolls. That's why it's the most important stock out there. Definitely this week, certainly, but we'll see if we get one more bounce. If we hold the low and bounce off VWAP, reload Nike. And then I also saw someone talking about Nikola to the downside. Remember, if you're trading Nikola, they've already filed bankruptcy.
Right.
I don't know why we weren't looking short of Nikola today. I'm saying when someone files bankruptcy, just look for the short every single day. It was another good one off the open. Didn't really pay attention to it too much, but I think if it holds on to VWAP, I kind of like what it's doing here. Might go pay for the low case and see if we can't grab that one. But not looking very good at all for NVIDIA. And brings me back over to Apple. Apple again trying to hold on to VWAP. So the market's at the low, both the ES and the NASDAQ. It's put up or shut up for two of the strong stocks, and that's holding VWAP on Nike and Apple. Otherwise, we have to start looking for the other direction on both of these. SMCI, I did say I want to look short off of VWAP. It's not getting there with the market breaking these lows. It might just be a 52 breakdown. So if I don't get a chance to short off VWAP here on SMCI, then I'll just take a break of this low as long as the market's still looking weak. So I just heard Baba flap on a break. Well, I have a trail on that one that probably did it, Phil. Yeah, of course it did. Yeah, of course it did. You broke the prior high. So 132 did break. It broke this prior high. We put that trail on last week. Put that trail in, I should say, on Alibaba. Well, I've taken some out. I'm still in it for the long term, but I wanted to take profit at some level, but didn't have a price target in mind. Well, I put a trailing stop on it. And that triggered today. And it's now SSR. So you know what that means. It was already SSR. 10% down, double bottom on Alibaba. Trend reversal, I'll probably take a shot at this. Very much like Palantir though. Has to break trend, stop at the prior low, gets to VWAP, get out. Very simple plan when you're making the reversion. SSR, I can't remember the last time Baba was SSR actually. I can't even think of it.
Probably a month ago. Okay, so we'll check it out. All right, not much else. Nothing's really hitting. I mean, the market, although downside action here, we just talked about making sure that you're trading the right names, the names that are actually moving around, and whatnot. So, XOM was hitting. I mean, Disney was coming across there. DIS.NY, of course. What is that price? Yeah, underneath 110. SPY, Robinhood trying to catch a bid there. Palantir's at 90. Q's, Tesla. Walmart's getting absolutely destroyed. It's going to continue to do that. What's wrong with my charts? Disney. Oh, it's stuck on Disney. Okay. Walmart, I'm going to say down 3%. This is what I mean by destroyed. I mean, it's down a lot off of this apparent record earnings that they had. 104 all the way down to 92. You're down 15%. So you want to talk about trimming certain positions and whatnot. I mean, I don't know, if you didn't get out of Walmart, you're now all the way back to January, gonna break the year maybe on Walmart and give everything back all year here on WMT. What went parabolic, kind of stair-steppy a little bit to the upside, has elevator down pretty dramatically on Walmart. So just be careful on that stock. Not really certain of what the one there, but Walmart right now, nice downside move off of earnings. Big Bear, maybe we'll buy some of this. Not maybe, we will buy some of this here this afternoon. Big Bear AI down to $6. I like the $5 level. If we can get that, that'd be good as well. So we'll add some more to our, shout out Charlie Taft there as well. We talked about buying some Big Bear over the last couple of days, so we're gonna be doing that again right now. Good covers down there on AMD, man. Not bad, you know, couple wins, couple losses there today. And yeah, again, a big shout out to Adara for holding fort there. Maybe she'll talk about it more on the midday. But here we go with only 20 seconds left. We'll see everybody very, very soon, 2 p.m. But on the midday, they're talking about chart something? Chart patterns on the midday. So check out these two's favorite chart patterns. Yeah, of course. And there's always a lot of talk other than stock. So that'll be push-up talk, I'm sure, as Neil just showed you right there. In the midday as well. So if you're here for banter, it's a great opportunity as well. So all right, man. So far, so good, man. Palantir holding line at $90.
Yeah, it's managed to catch that bid. Remember, Palantir's SSR, so like you can't hit, if it makes a flat bottom break, you can't hit that short unless there's an uptick. That can give fuel to some of those longs if you look for that right entry point. But it is a negative day for the market, almost 1% to the downside. Some relative strength here in a few names. We talked about Nike. I'm just hearing, I want to give Intel up because I just heard Intel.
They released some new chips.
Okay, Intel released a new chip, but it's barely moving on that. So 3%, 3.5% to the downside. Intel still looking good on the daily chart.
Alright, y'all, hope you all enjoyed it.
Huge move there.
That was fun. Ciao.
The market does a little bit of a bounce because I know you guys are going to vote for that playmaker long, despite the fact we're having a red day. Let's see what the basketball.
What a red day it was.